Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome all of you to the 2020 Caregiver Recognition virtual event. My name is Deanna Hearn, and I'm the president of the Nevada Caregivers Coalition. The coalition is a group of organizations, businesses, agencies, and individuals that in some way touch caregivers. The members come together once a month to network, share information about programs and services, trade ideas, and to create an exciting event like this every year. Recognizing the remarkable contributions of caregivers is one of the best things we do. This is the 15th year we've had the privilege of honoring exceptional caregivers in November during National Family Caregivers Month. Typically, we would have held a big luncheon in Reno, but COVID-19 has prompted us, like so many others, to go virtual. That move, however, actually allowed us to expand our reach. So today, we're able to recognize amazing caregivers throughout Nevada. This year, we are also honoring caregivers on Facebook all month. Now for a few housekeeping items. Our goal is to keep this as close to 1 hour as possible. Please mute your audio and keep it muted. Use the speaker view. Keep the video on unless you need to leave the room for a few minutes. We have a big group today, and we'd love to see your reactions to what's happening, so feel free to use your reaction button. If any of you didn't have a chance to download the program and you'd like to follow along, please check the chat for a link. We are recording this celebration and will notify you when it's available. The caregivers we're showcasing today come from several categories, including family caregivers, facility caregivers, in-home paid caregivers, caregivers for veterans, caregivers for youth with special needs, and dual life caregivers who work at jobs plus care for someone during their off hours. We will also present the Jerry Pruitt Humanitarian Award to a woman who exemplifies caregiving through her own personal experiences and her years of dedication to helping others. In addition, we have a couple of raffles, some brief presentations, and an uplifting message from our speaker, Professor Fernando Torres Gill, who has an impressive portfolio of public service and is recognized both nationally and internationally as a leading spokesperson on demographics, aging, and public policy. On behalf of the entire coalition, it is my distinct honor to acknowledge the 56 extraordinary caregivers we are recognizing today, many of whom are in attendance. To all of you, we say thank you for your incredible service to your loved ones, friends, patients, and clients. We hold you in high esteem and appreciate all you do every day. Your efforts make a huge difference in the lives of the people you care for, and you contribute to the entire community by demonstrating in word and deed the best in all of us. And now I would like to introduce Marta Malone, our event chair, visionary, and master of pulling this all together.
Thank you, Deanna, and thank you all. I am so honored to have had the privilege this year to chair this very important event. This is near and dear to my heart, to honor our silent heroes. And I want to extend a grateful thank you to Deanna, our president, and to Marcia O'Malley, who is the owner of Mindful Media Services and is the coalition's marketing guru, who is working behind the scenes right now to make this all happen. Thank you to both of you. This event wouldn't have been possible without the extensive involvement of these two amazing women. And I'd also like to say a big thank you to our coalition team members that worked so hard to make this a special event for our honorees and our attendees. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. This couldn't have been done without all of you. So it is my privilege to introduce another special person, Miss Diana Ross. Diane's passion to care for others was a calling. Diane founded the Continuum, a rehabilitation therapies and wellness center for people of all ages in 1993. A decade later, she started the Nevada Caregiver Coalition to recognize and salute the work of what she calls our silent heroes. And 15 years ago, she hosted the first recognition luncheon for our caregivers to honor them. To this day, Diane remains the heart and the soul of the coalition, and we are proud to carry on her vision. So please welcome Diane Ross.
Well, hello. It is with gratitude and admiration that I welcome all of you to this virtual caregiver celebration. And one of the things I miss is I had the opportunity every time we had the luncheon, I got to hug or shake your hand. So I can't do it quite now, but I'm giving you this big virtual hug, okay? Please feel you've got it. I've had the honor to have worked with so many caregivers over the past 35, 40 years. You come in all sizes and shapes, colors, cultures, and ages, but all with the same motivation: to give unconditional, loving care. Your spouses, aunts, uncles, children, friends, volunteers, your professional caregivers who work long hours to provide care for those who need companionship and assistance. And you do it with compassion and empathy. Your time spent in caring varies from 1 hour a week to 24/7. You provide care in homes, nursing homes, institutions. You're part of adult day programs, hospices, and home care programs. You're care partners with persons who you're caring for, and you're a team member with others who offer assistance and respite. For the family caregiver, it's estimated that you put in 34 billion hours of care in 1 year. And if you'd gotten paid, the total annual would have been $470 billion. Holy Toledo. There are about 41 million of you. That's about 1 in 7 adults in the United States. And a big shout out to all of our parents, foster parents, grandparents, and yes, great-grandparents who are caring for children with special health care needs. 12% of those children, that's about 9.4 million, are under the age of 18 that require special help. And I know, because I facilitated many support groups, that the caregiving road is not always an easy one, and yet you are always there. Namaste. And now please enjoy this video recognizing our honorees.
Patty Alfieri from Las Vegas, Nevada. Patty was raised by her grandmother, so it was an easy decision to help provide care for her when her grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and her health started to decline. Nellie Baum from Sparks. Nellie is a compound caregiver trying to work and care for her father with Alzheimer's and her sister with Down syndrome. Shannon Betancourt from Dayton. Shannon is a great asset to our team of caregivers. She quickly developed a group of clients who favor and request her for their personal needs. She is very good at keeping the office updated on any noticeable changes in her clients. Verona Nona Bloom from Sparks. While tenderly caring for her veteran husband through the progression of his Parkinson's disease, she juggled her time between him and their daughter in California, who battled cancer for over 10 years. Sandra Borelli of Reno. Sandra is serving as a caregiver for her husband after he developed early onset dementia. She also traveled to Southern California periodically to assist with her mother's care until her mother passed away about a year ago. Martha Bravo from Sparks. Martha is a blessing to our community. So proud of this young lady. Her work ethic and love for our seniors is evident every day. Blaine Buer from Fallon. As a full-time caregiver, Blaine has not found other men who are also caregivers, so he learned to research for ideas and resources online. Kathy Burwell, Las Vegas. In addition to providing outstanding nursing services to Opportunity Village participants and staff, her support continues at home, where she is also the parent of a son with special needs. Mark and Colleen Coates, Sparks. Mark and Colleen are a dream team, a true companionship in all things, including the care of their 42-year-old son, Mark E., who has cerebral palsy. They do not see their challenges as burdens, but as blessings to grow from. Rika Danko, Reno. I am consistently in awe of how she handles her mom, caregiver times 2, and employee roles and still has a smile on her face and uplifting words to share. Elvia Diaz, Reno. Elvia has a great passion for learning and helping others. Caregiving can be stressful, but she perseveres, overcomes, and learns. She genuinely cares for the people she supports and helps them to live fulfilling lives. Julian Dudo, Sun Valley. Not only is she battling her own health problems, but she is doing them while raising a child with special needs. Lisa Irk, Reno. Lisa doesn't just have the gift of being an incredible caregiver, she also has the gift to be an effective manager in both assisted living and memory care. Judy Falcon, Las Vegas. It's hard enough to tell your own family what to do, but telling your father-in-law what to do makes for uncomfortable family relationships. Janie Franklin, Reno. Janie chose to become a full-time caregiver for her daughter who has Rett syndrome when others encouraged selecting a lifetime of institutional care. After 26 years of 24/7 care, she certainly qualifies as a Wonder Woman. Nadia Gabler, Carson City. Nadia has always been drawn to caring for people. She says, "I enjoy helping people with their daily life, and I want to make a difference even for a day." Nadia is our shining star. Ophelia Gabriel, Las Vegas. Ophelia and her son Jose, who has autism and OCD, recently moved to Nevada. She exemplifies grace under pressure by accepting that life is not easy, but there are many moments to still enjoy. Michelle Gordon, Gardnerville. Michelle is caring for her mother, Patricia, who is living in the final stages of a Lewy body dementia diagnosis. The relationship between them is so genuine and special to witness. I cannot think of a daughter more dedicated to her mother's care, comfort, and happiness. Dee Griffiths, Las Vegas. Dee is a legend of sorts at Opportunity Village, known for infectious energy and positive attitude. In her almost 20-year career as a caregiver, Dee sets the stage for what true compassionate and supportive care looks like. Congratulations to all of the caregivers, and thank you. We thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. Now it's time for the first of two raffles. We have some fabulous gifts that several of our coalition members have graciously provided. Only caregivers are eligible for the prizes. We will be in contact with you after the event to make sure you receive your gift. So let's raffle off 3 items now, and we'll do another 3 later in the program. The first item is from the Alzheimer's Association. It's a cozy wine and chocolate basket paired with Nothing Bundt Cake's 8-inch dessert cake. It looks fabulous. So Marcia, please spin the wheel. Lynn Smith, congratulations. You're the winner. The next gift is from Kindred at Home. It is a loaded everything Nevada basket paired with a Wild Island Night of Fun certificate. So Marcia, are you ready? Let's spin the wheel again. Karen Sheffield, you're the winner. Congratulations. And the third gift that we'll be raffling off at this section is from Arbor's Memory Care. It is a popcorn, candy, and movie night basket paired with a Home Means Nevada store shopping certificate and stickers. So that sounds like a fantastic gift too. So once again, let's spin the wheel, Marcia. Barilli, you're the winner. Congratulations. As I said before, we'll make sure that you get your gifts. We'll be in touch with you after the event and figure out a time when we can deliver them to you. Next, I would like to introduce Sheree Wamsley Gibson. She is a program specialist with the Alzheimer's Association Northern California and Northern Nevada chapter. She manages the association's respite care grant program in partnership with the State of Nevada Aging and Disability Services Division.
As Deanna said, my name is Sheree Wamsley Gibson. I'm so glad that you could all join us today for the Caregiver Recognition event, and I'm so grateful to be part of such a meaningful occasion that recognizes all the amazing work you do in our community that impacts the lives of so many people. Today, I will be sharing 10 helpful tips for caregivers to consider to avoid putting your own health at risk. Number 1, being try to take a break. Whether a family or professional caregiver, it is important to take a break from time to time. If you are a family caregiver, consider connecting with respite services that may be available in your community that allow you a temporary rest from caregiving while ensuring your loved one is being cared for in a safe environment. For those caring for a loved one with Alzheimer's or dementia, there is the Alzheimer's Association Respite Care Grant, or for those caring for a loved one with chronic conditions, there are other respite programs that can be found using Nevada's 211 Guide to Resources. Number 2, seek out community resources. As mentioned, Nevada 211 is a great connector to care resources across the state of Nevada. Adult day programs, in-home assistance, companions, and meal delivery are just some of the services that can help you manage daily tasks. For those caring for a loved one with cognitive impairment, there is also the Alzheimer's Association helpline that is available 24/7, 365 days a year. Number 3, become an educated caregiver. Try to be proactive and connect with education programs or workshops that will equip you with new caregiving skills. Number 4, know it is okay to get help and find support. It can be beneficial to find online social networking communities or local support groups to connect with our caregivers who may be experiencing similar challenges. This next one may be easier said than done, but try to take care of your own health. Try to eat well, exercise, and get plenty of rest. Making sure you are healthy can help you be a better caregiver to your loved one. Number 6, manage your level of stress. Stress can lead to physical problems such as high blood pressure, as well as changes in behaviors like irritability, lack of concentration, and changes in appetite. Keep note of signs that you may be experiencing caregiver stress and discuss with your physician as needed. Number 7, accept changes as they occur. People living with dementia or other chronic conditions can progress over time, and so can their needs. They may require care beyond what you can provide on your own. Becoming aware of community resources, from home care services to residential care, can make the transition easier. So will the support and assistance of those around you. Number 8, legal and financial plans. Having these plans in place can provide comfort to the entire family. If unsure about how to complete documents or make these types of plans, you may want to seek assistance from a licensed social worker, attorney, or financial advisor. This next one is so important, and sometimes it might be hard to believe, but know that you're doing your best. Remember that the care you provide makes a difference and that you're doing the best that you can. You may sometimes feel guilty because you cannot do more, but care needs are unpredictable and can increase over time. Regardless of how care is delivered, you can make sure that the person with the disease is well cared for and safe. And lastly, number 10, visit your doctor regularly. Doctor visits may look a little different these days, but try to take time to get regular checkups and pay attention to any exhaustion, stress, sleeplessness, or changes in appetite or behavior. Ignoring symptoms can cause your physical and mental health to decline. We recognize that families are facing unusual circumstances during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are sandwich caregivers, people are spending more time at home, facing isolation, and unable to visit loved ones in long-term care communities. And now more than ever, it is important to take the time to also take care of yourselves as caregivers. You're all doing your absolute best to care for your loved ones, and we thank you for all that you do. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Larry Weiss, the founder and president of the Center for Healthy Aging and co-founder, along with Diane Ross, of the Nevada Caregiver Coalition, who started hosting these amazing caregiver recognition events.
Well, hi all. Thank you to all the caregivers out there. It really pleases me that this event is going on 15 years already. Out of the 41 million caregivers throughout the US, it is estimated that about 60% of family unpaid caregivers also have jobs. Having two jobs, caregiving and their paying job, creates incredible stress on the caregiver. More than half of the working caregivers feel that their careers have suffered because of caregiving. Caring for an aging loved one is one of the hardest and most demanding jobs someone can take on. Several years ago, I did a study of Washoe County employees and their caregiving responsibilities and found that it costs the county $1 million a year in lost productivity. Presented it to the Board of County Commissioners, and they did nothing. This needs to change. As our aging population rapidly increases, employers need to be aware of the growing number of family caregivers in their workforce and implement policies to support them. This additional pressure and stress can have adverse effects on our mental and physical health. In fact, many caregivers have expressed feelings of depression and found it difficult to find time to care for themselves. Given all the areas, it is critical to talk about these issues with friends and family and plan. Establish a family or significant other calendar. Ask others to help. Seek respite and community services. Talk to your employer about flexible work schedule, family leave, assistance programs like lunch, discussion group among caregivers. Keep work separate, and above all, take care of yourself. It is my pleasure to thank you, all of you, for doing what you do, and now we get to experience more of our honored caregivers.
Bill Howard, Reno. Bill brings a great deal of wisdom to our caregiving community, which he shares with warmth and generosity. He finds creative ways to introduce joyful experiences to his care recipients' routine and is a talented gardener as well. Cassandra Jenkins, Sparks. Cassandra makes sure our new team members are ready to take care of our awesome residents. She is very positive and dependable. Farv Kelly, Reno. Farv is a med-tech caregiver at Park Place. Her past duties as a senior nurse in the Philippines, maintaining sterile procedures, has made her invaluable in upholding COVID-19 infection control procedures at Park Place. Corey Kennedy from Sparks. Corey began as the family caregiver to his father in his junior year of high school. Now he works full-time and takes care of his dad during off hours. Dad calls him his special buddy and a good kid. Linda Kersey, Reno. Linda is a caregiver in the heart and a caregiver in the soul. She is a caregiver who is so good at what she does and who gives so much, yet is humble and genuine. Bonnie Killo, Minden. Bonnie has been with us for over 10 years and carries the same energy since the day she started. She emphasizes our seniors' independence and dignity and lets them know they are in charge of their lives. She is simply that extra hand when it is needed. Brandy Koval, Spring Creek. Brandy is a grandmother raising her granddaughter with special needs and is a school teacher and special educator. When everything shut down due to COVID-19, Brandy also became the speech, occupational, and physical therapist for her granddaughter. Destiny Coolwin, Reno. Destiny exemplifies the best of all caregivers by providing the best care to her assigned residents, meeting all their personal needs, but doing it in a way that appears easy and effortless, which it is not, but she has a gift. Jean Linares, Sun Valley. Jean is one of our most dedicated caregivers. It's easy to care for the Brady Bunch, but it's another story when a caregiver provides the same care, compassion, and dedication for the disrespectful, non-compliant client. Judith Manning, Las Vegas. Judith is a fierce defender of her mom against all that is frightening or intimidating in the outside world. Protecting home and hearth is a noble calling, and Judith is no cowardly lion there. Saini Mao, Sparks. Saini goes above and beyond to help her residents with all their needs. She takes the time to make sure she fulfills her duties to those residents like she was taking care of her own parents. Tanner Metzger, Reno. Tanner is an exemplary volunteer at the Northern Nevada Rave Family Foundation, whether it is interacting with all of the kids who come to our facility or providing a helping hand to our staff members. Lori Mitchell, Reno. Although Lori hadn't planned on a caregiver's life, she is superbly equipped for the role. She's a natural. Her temperament and particular talents have proven to be vital with all 5 family members she's cared for: her father, mother, aunt, uncle, and cousin. Jenna O'Neill, Cold Springs. Putting others first makes Jenna an extraordinary caregiver. She's a compound caregiver, caring for her stepmother who needs oxygen and pain management for her health conditions, and her husband who is disabled due to an accident. Sunday Orwick, Winnemucca. Sunday knows the toll Alzheimer's has taken on both her and her mom. Emotionally, this is hard, but Sunday deals with her mom where her mom's memory takes her. Depression sometimes clouds the days, but she keeps moving forward. Erin Page, Reno. Erin excels in working with clients requiring 24-hour care. She exhibits patience and kindness, particularly in working with clients who have complications with memory loss by calmly talking with them about family, friends, and events. Julia Penna, Reno. Julia has been committed to supporting her loved one and has incorporated self-care to foster her resiliency. Stephanie Penno, Gardnerville. Stephanie soldiers on in giving care to her family members, knowing she has also been aged by the experience of caregiving. With the support of family and friends, she is determined to keep on keeping on. Somehow she manages to make it all work. Lisa Rains, Reno. Lisa, activities coordinator at Stone Valley Memory Care, radiates joy, energy, and compassion. She exemplifies what a caregiver should be every single day, and she is a gift to all the clients who depend on her. And now I have the distinct pleasure of bestowing a particularly special honor, the Jerry Cruitt Humanitarian Award. It was created in 2016 in memory of one of the most beloved and invaluable members of the Nevada Caregivers Coalition. Jerry was there when the coalition began in 2003, and he worked tirelessly behind the scenes year after year to help make the Caregivers Recognition Luncheon a huge success. A partner in the continuum, he dedicated his life to helping others, and caregivers were high on the long list of people he cared about. Each year, this award is presented to a person or organization whose commitment to caregiving is of the highest order. As we approach Thanksgiving, there is something beautifully poetic about honoring a woman who gave birth on Thanksgiving Day, 31 years ago, to her youngest son, Eric. A tiny baby at just over 3 pounds, Eric was born early with a rare genetic syndrome that would go undiagnosed for months. Yes, it was the birth of Eric, but it was also the birth of Cheryl Donnell's career as a disability advocate and consultant. According to her husband, Dan, Cheryl's tenacity to learn about their son's condition began the moment he was born. Unfortunately, no local medical professionals had any answers. A geneticist from Las Vegas came to Reno to test Eric when he was about 2 months old, but it was nearly 6 months before the results came back. Eric had DeBarcy syndrome, a condition so rare there were only 15 documented cases in the world at the time, and all the research had been done in Germany. Cheryl got the research translated into English, which helped them learn more about helping Eric, but much of it was figuring out Eric's needs on their own, something at which Cheryl excelled. Eric went to regular school, says Dan. Cheryl always tried to keep him mainstreamed and involved in the real world, standing her ground as she usually does. Her husband calls her an amazing person who really likes to serve and help others. She's extremely smart, he says, and she would constantly dive into the research. One day, he got a call from a researcher at Davis Medical Center who asked for Dr. Cheryl Donnell. The man had been told Cheryl was the resident expert on DeBarcy syndrome in the US. One might say Cheryl was her own search engine years before there was Google. In 1990, the year after Eric was born, Cheryl became involved in various university-affiliated projects, starting out as a parent volunteer for Pacer Hugs, a parent-to-parent program to provide emotional support to one another. After 2 years, the university-affiliated projects hired her to manage the statewide Nevada Parent Network, a family-supported project which served as the umbrella for other programs she established. Those included the Nevada affiliate of Family Voices for children and youth with special healthcare needs, and Nevada Partners in Policymaking, a leadership advocacy program for individuals with disabilities and their parents. The creation of the statewide Family Voices organization required it to be affiliated with a nonprofit, so Cheryl also founded Family Ties of Nevada, an organization supporting people with disabilities throughout their lifespan and their families. Cheryl and Marcia's lives intersected again when Cheryl hired Marcia to work with both Family Ties and Family Voices. According to Marcia, without Cheryl's vision, these vital resources wouldn't be here. In addition to being parents of 2 other sons, Sean and Mark, Cheryl and Dan both gained job experience from Eric that led them to their future careers. Throughout her years of developing and working with the university disability programs, Cheryl also served as a disability consultant for many families and organizations such as RAVE. Dan is the State Family Resource Coordinator for Nevada's IDEA Part C office, helping to guide families with children with disabilities. Since 2012, Cheryl has been contracted to work with the Nevada Aging and Disability Services Division, most recently managing the Respite RX program. Meanwhile, Eric thrives at home in a fully accessible apartment Cheryl and Dan created for him out of their modified master bedroom. Cheryl taught him how to scan and file electronically, skills that landed him the job as the office scanning clerk for 7 years at Disability Resources, Inc. He loves the work and the paycheck. The people like him, and he's taken the staff from searching through cabinets full of paperwork to accessing everything online. Cheryl is the embodiment of the Jerry Pruitt Award. Her extraordinary caregiving skills, commitment and love for her son and family, and ongoing dedication to those with disabilities and their families continues to have wide-reaching effects. As Marcia says, Cheryl helped build resources for the disability community in Nevada for this entire generation. Congratulations, Cheryl. You are so deserving of this special award, and we're thrilled to be able to present it to you. We will get you your plaque and the narrative. Would you like to say a few words?
Wow, thank you. I have enjoyed my opportunities that have come my way. You might as well make lemonade out of lemons, right? And so we've learned how to just do what we can. And when you cannot do what you've always done, then you only do what matters most. And so we've tried to make sure that family was kept strong and be able to see if we are strong, we could help others. And so I've had a wonderful opportunity to meet other families and to get to work in the state to try to help, hopefully improve their lives.
Well, your work has been amazing and continues to be so. Congratulations from all of us.
Thank you for the pleasant surprise. I appreciate that.
So now I would like to introduce April Hester. So April is the admissions counselor for Infinity Hospice Care. She's been in healthcare for about 10 years. Her 5-year membership in the Nevada Caregivers Coalition has led her to holding key positions the entire time. Once she was the Caregiver Recognition Luncheon Chair, which is a really big job that Marta can attest to. And the last 4 years, she's been the Event Raffle Chair, which was a perfect position for an avid shopper who loves to be out and about. April?
Hi guys, I'm April from Infinity Hospice. Today I'm going to just talk about our Caregiver Coalition members and their businesses, how they have been able to make changes in their businesses. And we asked them to tell us a little bit about the ways that they changed their operations to continue and serve those in the need of the face of the time of this pandemic. I'll talk about Infinity Hospice first. What we were able to do is partner with Seroptimists of Nevada and several sewing groups in Reno. We started the Mask Project 2020. The group sewed, hand washed, dried, and packaged over 5,000 masks. They were delivered to assisted livings, skilled nursing facilities, patients and families, and all over in Northern Nevada community that were in need. We also partnered with Aging and Awesome. It's a show that's on Channel 2 in the evenings on Saturdays. And they partnered with us and Brothers Barbecue to deliver over 180 meals to seniors who were unable to leave their homes during the pandemic. Last but not least, we set up a monthly social distancing social. It's on Zoom, and it was to help keep Nevada healthcare professionals updated, being able to network and keep everyone updated on changes in their businesses as well. We also used it as, if people were in need, other businesses were in need, if they needed masks, if they needed extra supplies, we were able to all work together to make sure we were all staying safe. So we did that over Zoom, and we're still doing it monthly. Next, we'll go into the Nevada Healthcare, or the Center for Healthy Aging. They've been being conservative through this pandemic. They've been working from home, meeting with senior volunteers through Zoom. Volunteers are making friendly phone calls to elders who are isolated at home. The Nevada Lifespan Respite Care Coalition has been using the virtual Zoom calls as become a way of life for them to conduct their business. They've been doing it to do board meetings, member meetings. They've been doing symposiums, webinars, and summits. The Lifespan Respite Coalition has also used Zoom meetings to promote awareness and access campaigns for respite care. Barbara Westcott with the Nevada Senior Guide of Northern Nevada, also Marketers Exchange, has been doing phone calls and computer visits instead of in person. Barbara made phone calls to stay connected and to help seniors that were in home to get them connected with social workers. She's made sure she stayed connected in maintaining healthy and respectful communications with persons who she's met and networked with and prior to the pandemic. Barbara continues to participate in the meetings, and she also attends our social distancing socials each month. Consumer Direct. Consumer Direct is a self-directed program that supports in-home care. They are just ensuring that they're staying in all the guidelines of the COVID-19 safety measures. They're making sure that those are in place for their clients and staff to continue to provide services during the pandemic. The State of Nevada Aging and Disability Services Division is also a self-directed respite program. If families have had interrupted services due to COVID, they're allowed to make up their hours. They're allowing them, they may have lost some of their hours during the shutdowns, so they're allowing those to be made up. They're also directing caregivers to resources such as ARCH, Lifespan Respite Network, and also Nevada Caregiver Coalition. The Alzheimer's Association of Northern California and Nevada have made the decision to have staff work remotely. They also came and had a major pivot that was offering their first ever Walk is Everywhere, a virtual walk to end Alzheimer's walk. They have been offering virtual engagement opportunities, specific educational programs such as COVID-19 and caregivers. Alzheimer's Association has also supported several campaigns to bring awareness to the community. The community leaders that they're trying to bring the awareness to is how it's negatively impacting families being unable to see their loved ones in residential care during this time. They're advocating for rapid testing in these communities so families will be able to see their loved ones again. We just really wanted to thank you all. Everyone's companies have made such strides and changes to be able to better serve our community and in a need in such an unstable and uncertain time. And that's what most of our members companies have done. And that's who wanted to submit and share with you guys about what their companies have done. And now we're going to do the raffle, the second one. The first one that we are going to be raffling is from Brookdale Sparks and Vista and Reno. They made a Christmas extravaganza basket. Yay to Nadia. The second one is from Home Instead Senior Care. It's a spa basket paired with PJ's Restaurant, and their certificate is for breakfast, lunch, or dinner for two. Yay! The last one is Home Instead Senior Care Spa Basket paired with a Home Means Nevada shopping certificate. Yay, Ophelia!
I would now like to introduce another person. As coordinator of women's care and community outreach, including a caregivers program, Tori Diego has been working for Dignity Health for nearly 3 years. During the pandemic, she developed a 6-week virtual workshop for caregivers. She trained 27 new leaders, offered 10 of those virtual workshops statewide, and launched a virtual caregivers support group. She is the coalition's first Southern Nevada member. Tori?
Thank you, Deanna. As Deanna mentioned, every year prior to this year, the Nevada Caregivers Coalition has held a luncheon to honor caregivers. Rather than canceling this year, it was decided that we would go virtual to honor those silent heroes who have been caregiving with all the additional challenges and restrictions of COVID-19. Although we are sad that we don't get to see all of your faces in person, we are so happy that we were able to go statewide as we celebrate caregivers across the state from Carson City, Dayton, Elko, Fallon, Gardnerville, Las Vegas, Mesquite, Minden, Reno, Sparks, Winnemucca, and Yerington. We're reminded of just how special caregiving can be. With the given circumstances, we as Dignity Health St. Rose Dominican in Las Vegas have been able to partake wholeheartedly, not only in this event, but to the Nevada Caregivers Coalition as well. Seeing so many individuals and organizations advocating for caregivers has been truly humbling. Thank you for all that you do.
So now I get to introduce to you our speaker, who we've been excited about and waiting to hear. Fernando Torres Gill is a professor of social welfare and public policy at UCLA, director of the UCLA Center for Policy Research on Aging, and an adjunct professor of gerontology at USC. An author of 6 books and more than 100 publications, his research spans the topics of health and long-term care, disability, entitlement reform, and the politics of aging. Yet Fernando is much more than an academic. He spent many years of his life in public service, including appointments from 3 presidents. He earned his first presidential appointment in 1978 when Jimmy Carter appointed him to the Federal Council on Aging. President Bill Clinton selected him with Senate confirmation to serve as the first U.S. Assistant Secretary on Aging in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And Barack Obama appointed him, also with Senate confirmation, as vice chair of the National Council on Disability. As you can see, Fernando's experience is extensive and his expertise far-reaching. The son of migrant farm workers, he was born and reared in Salinas, California. According to his good friend, our own Marta Malone, he is the godfather of his extended family. He knows a lot about caregivers, he has a good sense of humor, and he always speaks from the heart. With that, we welcome you, Professor Torres Gill, and we are grateful to have you with us.
A real pleasure. I know you're short of time, and I too want to see the next awardees, so I'll keep my comments just for about 3 minutes or 4, maybe 5 even. But first, let me commend the Nevada Caregiver Coalition, all of you that have come together to honor the heroes in both Northern and Southern Nevada. I would love to have been with you in person, but one of the lemonades out of this lemon, I love the way that Cheryl described it, is that through Zoom, everyone can come together without traveling, and I can be home and be with you. I want to first honor all the awardees. You are both an inspiration, but you're also an example of what we should all be prepared for and what we will all be engaged in the coming years. I have just 4 takeaways, 4 messages. First, we honor you and all those who provide formal and informal caregiving. And this event is a wonderful way to recognize the sacrifices and the contributions. Secondly, you are not alone. You are not alone because you have these support systems, these wonderful advocacy groups. But working at the national level, I can assure you, you are not alone. Not to be partisan, but I've been involved with the incoming presidential administration on their health policy. I can assure you that this incoming administration has new and expansive initiatives on expanding home and community-based long-term care, on coming up with resources and support for caregivers, including tax credits and tax incentives, on giving greater support for the long-term care workforce, those who work with all groups, formal and informal, but that caregiving is increasingly recognized as a national agenda and a national priority. The third message is we advocate on your behalf at the national level, at the local level, certainly in a wonderful place like Nevada. And my fourth message is that all of us will eventually face caregiving or be caregivers. You have demonstrated that through your many stories. On a personal note, I've been taken care of and I've been a caregiver. I'm a polio survivor, paralyzed as a young person. I resonated with many stories of those caring for younger disabled persons. With polio, it was my grandmother who cared for me for many years. It was my mother who advocated for me to ensure that I received the proper services and support and that I could be with the normal kids in K through 12. And as an older adult, we cared for my mom. When she had COPD and eventually passed away, we were honored that she could be home. All 9 of her kids filled in. I was the care coordinator. My wife cared for her mom, who passed away eventually from Alzheimer's. She was the care coordinator along with her siblings. So we know full well the sacrifices and the rewards of being a caregiver. And lastly, I would just like to point out that the future will learn from what each of you are doing. We are all aging. We have the possibility to live longer. Persons and younger persons with disability have the opportunity to have extra years in their longevity, which means many more of us are going to need and face the various vicissitudes of aging and disability. No one is exempt. I always encourage my family, my friends, and I always tell them, just know that it will be your turn next. Meaning, someday, however physically able you might appear, however independent you might think you are, however helpful you might be to others, ultimately, we all have to assume that we will need some level of caregiving. Therefore, we're in this together. The demographics point us in that way. One of my graduate students, by the way, is doing her dissertation on a new aspect of caregiving. Increasingly, caregivers are younger. Greater numbers of millennials in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are now finding they're involved in caregiving. So we have this amazing growing constituency. So we can learn from each of you in Nevada. We can honor you, but we also need to support you and to advocate on your behalf. And ultimately, it's not just because it's the right thing to do, but ultimately it's a case of mutual self-interest because we will all need assistance at some point. So I just want to commend all of you, let you know you're not alone, that we honor you. I just wish I could be with you in person, but someday when this terrible pandemic dissipates, you will see me there. Increasingly more of my family and close friends are in the Las Vegas and Reno area. And on a lighter note, my all-time #1 team, the Raiders, are now in Las Vegas. So we will be doing our pilgrimage to Las Vegas for that particular NFL team. But we are with you, and I hope I get to meet you in person. And congratulations to all the awardees, and I look forward to the next group. Thank you very much, Dina, and to Martha and to Larry and all others.
Thank you, Fernando. That was fabulous. We knew that you'd just inspire us and leave us with an inspiring thought. We're looking forward to meeting you too. Certainly, Larry and Marta have told us a lot about you. So thanks again so much. Now we'll have the reel of the final group of honorees. Marcia, are you ready? Gladys Ramirez, Reno. I met Gladys at a time in her life when she and her mother were given news no one would want to hear. Gladys was quiet, uncertain, confused, scared, and desperate for help when her mother was diagnosed with cancer. Vicki Rushing, Elko. Whenever I ask how she is doing as a caregiver, I can hear her voice shift into love and patience and can tell that she really gives her all to help her husband 100% and embraces every day of it. Sean Marie Sam from Carson City. Sean has been a caregiver for several years, caring for her dad in Nixon while he deals with complications from glaucoma, diabetes, and kidney disease. As a Native American, she sees caregiving as a community responsibility to honor tribal elders. Todd Sherman, Reno. My wife of 40 years is a 100% disabled veteran. The challenges of being a male caregiver to a female veteran has been the most rewarding opportunity of a lifetime. Karen Sheffield, Las Vegas. Karen shines the brightest when she discovers fun new facts about her clients. She utilizes that information to motivate and keep them smiling throughout the day. Her extensive and valuable experience comes from being a caregiver at home. Lynn Smith from Sparks. Lynn is an amazing and valued caregiver. She is focused on providing the best service she can and tries to anticipate her clients' needs. We absolutely adore Lynn. She's the best. Brianna Smith, Sparks. Brianna is our lead med manager, care manager at Morningstar. She is very dependable and builds a respectful relationship with seniors, their families, and fellow team members. Stephanie Soma, Carson City. Stephanie is an extremely valued employee. She has empathy and shows great compassion and concern for each of her clients. Her patience and kindness are very well suited, caring for clients who may need memory care in addition to their personal care. Leanne Stans, Fallon. Leanne goes above and beyond to make sure she takes care of her residents, and she pays a lot of great detail to residents' needs. She is always there to help her teammates with learning and growing. Lynn Tappan, Minden. Lynn has worked for us for almost 10 years. She is amazing. She's great at communicating with our clients and their families by leaving helpful notes or calling. She goes above and beyond in everything she does. Angie and Veronica Thompson Crew, Sparks. Angie and Veronica are the most amazing moms and caregivers for their 2 little boys. Before the pandemic, they were already sheltering in place to keep their boys safe and away from germs, since they are both very fragile. Now they have to be even more careful. Jody Thornley from Mesquite. Beyond exceptional describes Jody and her way of caregiving. She is a parent to 4 children, 2 of whom have special needs. From her rural community, she fiercely advocates for her own children and for all people with disabilities in Nevada. She is one of the most resilient, loving parents I know. Gabriela Torres, Reno. Coming into the profession during the height of the pandemic, she excelled at learning how to safely provide personal care for her clients. Having a family to care for too, she understands the importance of meeting the needs of others while keeping herself and her clients safe and healthy. Denise Ulving from Reno. Denise works with many of Eden's VA clients. She shows compassion and caring for every one of her clients and always goes above and beyond. Eden is so proud to have Denise on our team. Georgia Vaughn, Sparks. Georgia never ever saw herself as a caregiver. She was a devoted, loving wife who took amazing care of the love of her life. Bill's passing was and still is the hardest thing Georgia has ever experienced. They had a great love. Donald Wirtz Jr. from Yerington. In 2018, Don Jr. found himself and his wife living with mom and dad so he could help mom provide care to his dad. Finding things like a Hoyer lift and other supports in rural Nevada, where resources are limited, can be challenging. That is just part of the battle. Tembra Wright Hay from Sparks. Tembra is an amazing member of the N4 team and a great support to the people she works with by encouraging their dreams and independence. She provides creative and personalized opportunities to the people she supports. Brittany Yananse Nye from Carson City. Brittany goes above and beyond for the many clients she serves at Eden.
This has been amazing. And I want to thank Fernando again for your wisdom, for your encouragement, and your uplifting and encouraging words, and just for all the advocacy and everything that you do for the good of people. We so appreciate you, Fernando. Thank you. So this has been awesome, and I wish that we could all be in person as well, but here we are. And I want to let you know that before we sign off, through the end of November, we will continue to honor our caregivers on our Facebook page. So please go to the Nevada Caregiver Coalition Facebook page and check out all of these wonderful caregivers and do some likes and shares and give them some recognition out there. And also, this event has been recorded, so we will post it on our website so it can be available to be viewed again. And then lastly, please remember, whenever you can, recognize and honor the caregivers around you. Caregivers, you are all shining stars. Keep doing the good that you do. We appreciate you so much. So thank you all for attending. And wow, I don't want to forget this. I want to do a shout out to all of our sponsors. We had AARP as a gold level sponsor. Arbors Memory Care is a silver sponsor. Consumer Direct, another silver sponsor, and Home Instead, a silver sponsor. Thank you to all of you. And thank you to all of you who donated to helping with this event. And our caregivers will be, I think, pleasantly surprised when they get their gifts in the mail. So look forward to that. Thank you all so much. And everyone be safe.